We get the coordinator up. Okay, please rise for the national anthem. Please remain standing for a moment of reflection. Okay, you may be seated. Secretary Astro will call the roll.
Thank you, Mr. President. All right. Senator Aqua,
Present.
Senator Nine, Senator Fanzon,
Present.
Senator King Jerry,
Present.
Senator Private Titty, Senator Cold Chicken. All right. Senator Tempore and Senator Shiv Unity are here via proxy. Mr. President, we have a quorum.
All right, I'll now open the floor for opening. Wait, my bad. I need to present the agenda. All right, so today we have 8 items on our executive agenda, and 9 on our legislative business. The floor is now open for opening remarks or statements. I'm assuming there's no opening remarks or statements. I'll be taking motions regarding today's agenda. Mr. President. Um, I don't know who said first, so the senator from Ohio. Is there a second?
A second.
Hearing a second, the executive business of today's agenda is approved. All right. 1 moment, sorry.
At 5:30. 5:30? Yeah.
All right, so the first item on our executive business is, oh wait, Varnick, do we approve the executive and legislative individually now, or is it universally? Do you know, or? Or Astro, do you know this? Because I'm used to it being approved at once and then we just moving down. But yeah, I was a little confused, but do I hear any? I'm gonna invalidate that motion since um it's not in accordance with the SSR. Do I hear any motions regarding today's agenda?
Mr. President,
The senator from Texas.
I motion to approve the agenda.
Is there a second? Hearing a second, today's agenda is approved, and we will move on to the executive business. The first item of today's agenda is N001, N002, Mr. Crypto Nacho to be Secretary of Defense. Um, is there a motion regarding that?
Mr. President,
The senator from Texas.
I motion to vote.
Is there a second? Hearing a, su- Hearing a sufficient second, we will move on to vote for N002. Give me a second to paste. Okay, sorry. Um, look it up. All right, with 8 A's, including proxy votes, nomination 002 passes the Senate. We'll move on to nomination 005, Mr. Abu Hamad to be Director of National Intelligence. Do I hear any motions regarding that? Senator, is there a second?
I second.
Hearing a sufficient second, we will move on to vote on N005. With 8 in the affirmative, including proxies, the nomination passes. We'll move on to nomination 007, Mr. Jared, 4-5 alt to be Deputy Attorney General. Do I hear any motions regarding the nomination? Senator, is there a second?
I second.
Hearing a sufficient second, we'll vote on the nomination. Um, okay. All right, hearing 7 in the affirmative and 1 abstention, nomination N007 passes the Senate. We will now move on to the legislative business of today's agenda. Starting with S-Res 7001 to elect a Secretary of the United States Senate. Mr. Clerk, can you read the purpose?
Yes, 1 second. All right, Senate Resolution 7001 to elect a Secretary of the Senate, proposed by Senator King Jerry. Resolved that Mr. Astronaut 2020 be elected as the Secretary of the Senate for the duration of the 70th Congress. That be all,
Uh,
Mr. President.
Thank you. Do I hear any motions regarding S-Res 7001? Senator, is there a second?
I second.
Hearing a sufficient second, we will vote on the resolution. With 8 in the affirmative, the resolution passes. The next item on our agenda is SRES 7002 to reinstate the previous Discord voting procedure. Mr. Clerk, can you read the purpose?
Senate Resolution 7002, reinstatement of the previous Discord voting procedure proposed by Senator Private Teddy. Whereas the previous voting procedure under Rule 12 required a motion to proceed, a second, and an approval vote, ensuring that legislation advanced only with the consent and deliberation of the full chamber, whereas the recent amendments replaced this process with a mechanism for the majority and minority leaders to bypass the approval stage, reducing collective input of the full Senate, whereas the voting procedure under the former provisions of the Senate standing rules upheld the principles of democratic deliberation and procedural fairness, resolved that Rule 12 of the Senate standing rules is hereby amended. That that will be it, Mr. President.
Oh my bad. Thank you. Do I hear any motions on SRES 7002? Senator, is there a second?
I second.
Hearing a second, we'll vote. All right, with 8 in the affirmative, the resolution passes. The next item on our agenda is S6908, the Codifying Congressional Reports Act. Mr. Clerk, can you read the roll? Or not the roll, you know what I mean, the purpose.
Yes, 1 second. All right. Senate Bill 6908, the Codifying Congressional Reports Act, proposed by Senator Aqua, a bill to codify requiring the submission of congressional reports. Purpose: this bill is being created to require certain agencies to submit congressional reports to their respective committees. This aims to increase transparency within the government and the people, and to update the Congress on departmental agency development and progression. That be all, Mr. President.
Thank you. Do I hear any motions on this bill?
Mr. President,
Senator?
oh,
Oh. Um, Private Teddy. Senator, are you alive? Um, a reminder that there's a force yield motion that requires a 2/3 majority. You're fine. Can you hear me?
yeah.
Okay. Okay. I have my speech ready. Wait. Okay.
I rise today in opposition to Senate Resolution. No, not Senate Resolution. Sorry, S 6908, the Codifying Congressional Reports Act. I'm so out of breath. Oh my god, these technical issues have really just took the breath from me. But anyway, of its face value, the bill seems good. It seems effective. It seems to be promoting transparency. But when we really dive into the contents of the bill, quite frankly, I think it's a congressional overreach into the executive branch. I feel like Congress has no business compelling executive agencies to report on internal matters using statutes. I'm not opposed to like congressional reports in their entirety, but put it into the US code or whatever this is doing. I'm not quite sure. It's just meddling. It's unnecessary. It's unneeded. The bill walks all over a line like it does not exist. It places Congress in the middle of the operational procedures of the Department of State and everything, the executive government. It's micromanaging it. Um, you know what? The bill doesn't even solve an issue. The issue does not exist. Um, there's a memorandum signed by the president on the 1st of May. That was signed by the president before that, signed by the president before that. And if we ignore haste anarchy, it was signed by the president before him. Um, it's a tradition for it to be a memorandum. We don't really need to put it in the codes. I feel like putting it in the code and codifying it would just create more issues. Like, what if we start a new agency? We need to start amending the codes and all of that. And on top of that, the Congress already possesses the tools it requires to demand a report. I'm not sure if we all know this, but subpoenas are actually legally codified, and congressional committees can request a subpoena, which also includes mandating reports. So instead of what I'm saying, basically, in short, is I don't think we need this. If we need congressional reports, literally just go to a committee, motion, Mr. Chairman, I motion we request um, I don't know, just a report from the Department of State compelling them to give employment statistics, maybe testimony on a certain issue, maybe written um, reports. Um, it's just so unneeded. It's so unnecessary. It's um, it's just so what? It's bureaucratic almost in the fact that it's just forcing people to do stuff that isn't really needed. It's already being forced. Congress doesn't need to enforce it. I think I saw Vast talk about it in general, saying it's just stepping all over the executive. I think that's what you said. Um, I don't really have a speech, so this is all just wings. Sorry to all the senators. I'm actually not drunk or not high. Um, but yeah, in conclusion, we do not need this bill. It's not enforceable, and it's just not needed. I yield the floor. Vote no, guys.
Thank you, Senator. Do I hear any other motions on S 6908? Do I hear any other motions on S 6908?
Mr. President,
Senator,
I motion to a vote.
is there a second? Hearing a sufficient second, we'll vote on S 6908. Hearing five A's, 2 nays, and 2 abstentions, including proxy votes. Correct me if I'm wrong, Astro, but I believe it passes. The next item on our agenda is S7001 to update the United States Code. Do I hear any motions on this item?
Mr. President,
The senator from Florida.
I motion to move to a vote.
Is there a second?
I second.
Point of order.
What's up?
Give me
Oh
one
yeah.
second because I was,
Um.
yeah.
Yeah. Sorry. Yeah. Astro needs to read the purpose.
I was doing the votes. It's actually, hold up, 4 ayes, 2 nays, and 2 abstains. So not 5 ayes.
My bad. Yeah. 4. So it doesn't pass now. Or
No, it does pass.
It-
Still passes.
okay.
Give me one second. Okay. Um, Senate Bill 7001, proposed by Senator 9, a bill to update the United States Code. The purpose of this bill is to adopt an updated United States Code as per provisions set in House Bill 6505. That'd be all, Mr. President.
Thank you. Do I hear any motions on this bill? Senator? 7001.
The senator.
The one in BC, 9. Is there a second?
I second.
I second.
Hearing a second, we'll vote on the bill.
Um,
Seeing 7 A's and 1 abstention, the bill passes. The next bill on our agenda is S7002, amendment to Title 7 for subsection 420 of the US Code. Mr. Clerk, can you read the purpose?
yes. All right. Bill 7. Hold up. Senate Bill
You're fine.
7002, amendment to the Title 7 420 of the United States Code, proposed by Senator 9. The purpose of this bill is to clean up the language of Title 7 420 of the US Code due to its highly vague language. That'd be all, Mr. President.
Thank you. Do I hear any motions on this bill? The senator from, I don't know what state you are from, Teddy, but New York. You may have it.
Thank you, Mr. President. I again rise in opposition to this bill with a little bit, some more coherence. I actually have a plan this time. So hold on, let me just get this speech up. That'd be a good step. Yeah, so the issue I have with this bill, Senate Bill 7003, obviously, um, obviously there needs to be something done with classified information. We have seen issues arise with mental breakdowns of former secretaries breaking, where they're like, wait, hold on. Yeah. Okay, wait, I'm so lost. Please bear with me, guys. Yeah, yeah, that's the issue. Okay. Yeah, my issue with this one is I feel like it just increases bureaucracy again. Um, no issue with deleting, editing, and government property. Obviously, it's wrong to be deleting those documents. What I do have an issue with is how you have to consult the Inspector General every single time you want to edit a document that's considered government property. I feel like that's just going to slow down the speed of which departments can like modify their policies, push out guidelines, amend guidelines, delete guidelines that aren't needed. Obviously, if the Inspector General's vacant, which a lot of the time it is, the commission is going to take even longer because I'm pretty sure they have to like vote on stuff as a collective. Um, I'd be all for this legislation if it's reproposed but reformatted in a way that it doesn't slow down an agency's means to amend their own policies, which if, I'm not quite sure what the scope is because it doesn't, it's vague in which it's vague in defining the scope. So from what I can gather, just the smallest document, maybe like a uniform policy, you'd need to go and get external approval from an unappointed, no, an appointed, unelected, um, external figurehead, which is obviously not the best. Um, yeah, so obviously, if we really divulge into it, bureaucracy is bad in the government. You just see Elon Musk talking about it, efficiency. Uh, Obviously, no, because like if we really think I was serving as CVB commissioner. I was just serving as CVP commissioner, which if you don't know is like border control, all of that stuff. Of at least like maybe like a month ago. I feel like I was appointed a month ago. The presidential run really like distorted my time. But yeah, when I was CBB commissioner, I had to redo all of the documents. Well, not all of them, but like obviously amend them. And um, obviously, if I had to go to the Inspector General, which was the president at the time, um, it would really slow me down, and I needed to be fast to make reforms. So thank you for all understanding my points. I yield the floor.
All right,
Thank you.
do I hear any motion on S7002? The senator from Ohio. Do you have the floor? Yeah, you have it.
Mr.
All right,
President,
thank you. Who was that?
I'm for.
Tempora, you have the floor.
Uh, I somewhat agree with both Nine and Teddy here. I do believe this is going to end up being a waste of time a little bit. However, I do believe it makes perfect sense if we amend it and get rid of the editing part. I think it makes sense to get permission from the Inspector General to delete things. However, I do agree that getting permission to edit things will be tedious and a slowdown in everyone's lives. Thank you. I yield the floor.
Do I hear any motions on S7002? Senator, is there a second? Hearing a second, we'll vote. All right, with 1A, 5 nays, and 1 abstention, or my bad, 2 nays, 2 A's, 5 nays, and 1 abstention, it fails the Senate. The next item on our agenda is S7003, Classified Information Procedures Act. Do I hear any motions on this bill? Or, I now,
Point of order.
word. I or my bad. I'm like having a brain fart moment right now.
Point of order,
I
Mr. President.
Senator,
I believe there's a clerk here that needs to read something.
I believe I was about to do that. I
Mm.
invite the
Mm.
clerk to read the
Yeah.
purpose of the bill.
All right. Senate Bill 7003, oh my God, 03, Classified Information Procedures Act, proposed by Senator Nine, a bill to provide criminals procedures that permit a trial judge to rule on the relevance or admissibility of classified information in a secure setting. Purpose to provide criminals procedures that permit a trial judge to rule on the relevance or admissibility of classified information in a secure setting. That'd be all, Mr. President.
Thank you. I just want to remind senators to not talk out of order. I can see your team chats. Some of you are not in team chat, so do I hear any motions on S7003? The senator from New York, I think that's your state. Yeah. You have the floor.
Thank you, Mr. President. I promise this is my last speech. It's the last bill I have an issue with. It's a very specific issue. It's a concern for just the legal system, and it's a concern for the implications the bill will have on the legal system. I'm not an expert on the legal system. I'm not indulged in the legal system, but from what I gathered from this bill, um, I feel like it will have profound effects on the fairness of a trial. So let's just divulge into it. Real fast. I promise I have prepared. I've prepared. It's just taken a while to load up. Okay. So the bill, from what I can see, feel free to correct me, but it allows the court to hold secret hearings with classified information, but without the defense present. Um, if you've ever studied the legal system, that's not okay. It goes against the principles of a fair trial. The defense must have an opportunity to challenge evidence submitted by the prosecution. Um, it's this entire principle of, you know, fairness. If you can't challenge evidence, it could be wrong, it could be misleading, it could be fabricated, and it's not going to be cross-examined enough. Secondly, I feel like it encroaches on judicial independence. and I quote, "If the Attorney General objects, the court shall issue an order prohibiting the disclosure." That's just allowing the Attorney General to overrule it. It's allowing the Attorney General to trump a judge's order to admit evidence. It, it's just, if a judge sees no security risk, it shouldn't be blocked by an unelected official whose job is not to be ruling on matters of law. Um, so yeah, that's my second objection. It erodes on judicial independence, separation of powers, federalism, not federalism, republicanism, sorry. My third objection is the government defines what is classified. And if we're codifying that into the law to basically reform the legal system, what's stopping the government from defining evidence as classified that may be um, not vital to national security just to prevent it from being disclosed? Obviously, there's issues in that leading to abuse, overclassification without effective, meaningful review, obviously, because the Attorney General can just overrule it. And then the fourth objection, the burden falls entirely on the defendant to predict and notify the government if they might use classified information. Um, Obviously, the defense may not even know what's classified or not. It should be the prosecution that determines that. So obviously, I may have it all wrong. I hope the senator from Ohio clarifies any errors I may have made in my examination. Uh, but for now, I urge my colleagues to vote no, unless the senator corrects me. Thank you, Mr. President. I yield.
Thank you. Do I hear any other motions on S7003? Senator, you have the floor. Do I hear any motions on S7003?
Mr. President,
Senator,
I motion to vote.
is there a second? During a second, we'll vote on the bill. Being 2 ayes, 4 nays, and 2 abstentions, the bill does not pass the Senate. The next item on our agenda is S7004, the Abuse of Vehicles Act. Mr. Clerk, can you read the purpose?
Yes, 1 second. Did you say 2 ayes?
Yeah, cause Sheeb's um leave of absence or not leave of absence. Is that what yeah, his LOA.
That would be one aye,
Or
unless
no,
someone
cause
else voted aye.
somebody else voted I in the chamber. If I'm not wrong.
Aqua, did you vote aye?
I abstained.
Did
Okay,
anybody here vote I or am I tripping out?
because hold up. Aqua voted abstain, 9 voted abstain, Fanzon voted 9, King Jerry voted abstain, Private Teddy voted 9, Tempore 9, Shiv Unity aye, Cold Chicken 9. Am I wrong? Anyone? Okay,
Yeah,
then
if
that must be it,
yeah.
yeah. Alright.
So
Just
just
wanted to
one I.
correct it. Okay, perfect. Alright. Senate Bill 7004, Abuse of Vehicles Act, proposed by Senator 9, a bill to add a new subchapter to Title 7 of the United States Code and add a new section within it. The purpose of this bill is to add a new subchapter to Title 7 of the United States Code. This subchapter will be called Subchapter 5 and would include 7 US Code 514, Abuse of Vehicles. That will be all, Mr. President.
All right, thank you. Do I hear any motions on S7004, the Abuse of Vehicles Act? The senator from New York. Is there any objections? Hearing none, S7004, if I'm not wrong, passes via unanimous consent. The last item of today's agenda is HR 7002, the Placement Tools Act. Mr. Clerk, can you read the purpose?
Yes. House Bill 7002, the Placement Tools Act, proposed by Representative Alex M. Player 30, a bill to suggest to developers increase the maximum allowed replacement limit for barriers. This aim of this bill is to suggest to the developers the Placement Tools Act to provide the law enforcement officers and agents with the raising of the maximum number of deployable barriers from 5 to 7, allowing for improved defensive and tactical positioning in high security areas, even with low numbers of attendance from agents and officers. The bill, Mr. President.
Thank you. Do I hear any motions on the bill? Senator, is there a second?
A second.
Hearing a second, we'll vote on the bill. With I can't read that. Does that say 6? Yeah, with 7 A's and 1 nay, the bill passes. And that concludes our legislative portion of tonight's agenda. Do I hear any closing remarks and motions? With no closing remarks and motions, I adjourn the first session of the 70th Congress.